is happening, fishing friends, and welcome to another episode. My name is from DEBO'S Fishing, and today we've got a little bit of an unboxing to do because I got a box with my name on it. Literally, my name's on the... So why did I feel the need to come to you today with an unboxing? It's not really my thing. I don't feel that people want to sit and watch DEBO take lures out of bags. However, I will bring you an unboxing if I feel that it will benefit you and give you a little bit of an edge over the competition. Now, I'm not a serious tournament angler, but there are some days that I go out. I've been fishing next to people that were throwing just a regular stick bait. And I had these, Grande Bass. They were a company that I got turned on to a few years ago. A couple years ago, I think it was at Cabela's. I picked up like 5 or 6 bags of these. They had them on sale, along with some of their trick worms, their airtails. I'll show you those in a minute, but had a lot of success with them. There were multiple days where I was standing next to other people throwing just a standard Yamamoto stick bait, some yum dingers, whatever they were, the normal style, and I outfished them probably 4 or 5 to 1 using this. Now this bait was a little bit different than what they were throwing. It's got like a little ring fry tail on it, and I believe that little subtle difference made all the difference for me catching the fish that day. Now, I'm a strong believer in fish just a little bit differently to catch more fish. If everybody that you know is throwing a stick bait, throw a fluke, or throw a stick bait that looks just a little bit different. Huh? Notice the difference? This doesn't look like the regular Yamamoto Cinco, does it? These are the Grande Bass trophy sticks. Now these are something that I've not used, and I'm not sponsored by them or paid by them. I purchased these with my own money. They're a different bait that I completely believe in. Grande Bass and Reaction Innovations are 2 companies that I highly believe in. I've been using the past couple years that make baits that are just a little bit different. And I think that that does make a difference when you're out there. If the fish are used to seeing just a regular stick bait, no subtle difference at all, just a regular stick bait, I think they get used to that. Now, I know there have been studies that say they can't remember, but to me, if they're pressured and they're seeing the same thing over and over and over, it's not going to hurt to throw something that's similar but just a little different. So I've never actually used these. These were the Snakos. I didn't pick any of these up because I wanted to try some other different things, but these worked really well for me. So I'm excited to try these. They're like the standard stick bait. However, they've got a little cup on the tail. That's supposed to give a little bit more wag action on the way down with, look at that, I'm barely moving that. That's going to drive a fish crazy coming down through there. A little bit of a finesse tail. So I'm excited to use these. Again, I've not tried this style yet, but I am all for trying something different. So I picked some of those up. I also picked up some of their Airtail Flash. I know a couple guys that use these have had a lot of great luck with them. Kind of a spin-off of a fluke. Now a normal fluke just kind of dives down, does that, bait fish as it's kind of swinging through and kind of goes in a circle as it's falling. These, the tails on these, hollow. Hollow! They have hollow tails on them. What that does, it traps air in there on the way down, and it makes it stick up. So that's going to give it just a little bit different sticking up tail action, kind of wagging on the way down, a little bit different from your standard fluke. Now, these I have used, the Airtail Wigglers. These things are absolutely killer. You want to talk about doing something just a little bit different. People talk about the Zoom trick worm, and I use those. I have a ton of them. I use them a bunch. However, completely changed my mind. See that? See the hole? Completely changed my mind on trick worms after I used these. Couple reasons. Number one, that tail. It floats. You have some trick worms that kind of float, some that don't. Air gets trapped in there and it sticks up and wiggles. Just like that. When you rig these up on a shaky head, you'll notice it sits flush. What? Huh? You mean you don't have to bite the head off the Zoom trick worm for it to sit flush? That's one thing that really annoys me about the trick worms is they have that little pointy head. I don't know why they have that. They should just cut that off there. I like it to sit flush. Maybe it's not going to make a huge difference, but I like that part about it. They stand straight up and they fit the right way on the shaky heads for me. Now I used these the past couple of years. Not last year. I didn't really do a whole bunch of finesse fishing, but the year before that I used the heck out of these. I think I bought 2 bags and had them both used in no time. So I picked up some more of these. Give you just a little bit different look on your standard trick worm. Next are the Tail Rattlers. Now these are something that I've used in the past. Zoom has like a Magnum trick worm. It's a little bit thicker. And that's kind of what these are. And this is how I envision using these. I could also see them just rigged Texas, Texas rig style, kind of using it almost like a punch weight or a punch bait. But again, these have the hollow tail. And I can see these as being a bigger presentation, a little bit meatier presentation if you're looking for a little bit bigger bite, but still a finessey application. I would throw this probably on something, a shaky head that's a little bit bigger, like this, when I'm going a little bit deeper. And it's just going to give you a little bit bigger profile, a little bit meatier look. Now, something that I also see these being killer as, imagine a weight in the head and the tail sticking straight up with a hook like that. Oh yeah, the Niko Rig. I think these are going to be pretty killer Niko Rig as well as these. Now the Niko Rig has been something pretty big for me the past couple years because I don't know why more guys don't use it around rock. The whole point of the Niko Rig is that the head pops like this. Your hook is up off the ground. You don't have any sort of shaky head or weight, anything down here that's round and bulbous that's going to get stuck in the rocks. When you have the weight stuck up inside the nose of the bait, it's really hard to get this bait stuck. So for me, around rocks, the Niko Rig is absolutely killer. And I could do a whole different video on that, but the Ned Rig is pretty good around it. You try to go light, but it can still get snagged, especially with that open hook. Same thing for the shaky head. It's pretty good most of the time, but you get them stuck in rocks. With this, you're popping over the top of the rocks. And with this tail that floats, you're looking like that the whole time. Now, probably the little bait that I am most excited to try are these little 4.75-inch rattlesnakes. These are very similar to the Lake Fork ring fries. I was a big fan of those, but there were a couple things I did not like about the ring fry. With this, you'll notice that one end is tapered, so you've clearly got a head end and a tail end. Now this works perfect because whenever I fish a wacky rig, that's what I like to use is a ring fry type bait like this. Really the Lake Fork ring fry was the thing that I was using the most. And I felt that I got a lot more bites off something like that than just a regular stick bait. Now when you take your hook and rig a wacky bait, you'll notice that this does have one drawback. It's a very tiny body. Same thing for the Lake Fork ring fry. So whenever I rig those, I always brought out this handy tool. Now the cool thing about rigging these is that that tapered end goes right in there perfectly. Now about halfway, I'll mark it right about there. You'll notice that it kind of stops. Now with those Lake Fork ring fries, it was almost impossible to get that pushed down in. With these, if you just take it and turn your tube, it goes right up in there without any issues. So I always run 2 rings whenever I go wacky style. I always put 2 of these rubber rings on there and cross them over. So you'll notice it goes on extremely easy. Take my 2 rings and cross them over to make an X pattern. That way when you run your hook on there, in between the 2 X's, it actually keeps your bait perpendicular. So instead of the hook going this way, parallel to the bait, it keeps it perpendicular. So when that fish grabs on, you can see it keeps it just like this. And that's what you want. You don't want it running straight with the bait. I try to keep it this way as much as I can. And putting those 2 O-rings like this in an X and putting your hook in between them here underneath keeps those from turning. It keeps that hook perpendicular to your bait. It helps. So let me know in the comments below, what do you do to fish just a little bit differently than the other people around you? Do you think it makes a difference, or do you think it's just a confidence thing? I have more confidence in this bait because I think it's a little bit different. Let me know below. I'm excited. Now, also let me know below if you'd like to see more technique videos, something like the Niko Rig, my setup for fishing wacky style baits, whatever it is, let me know below. I'm eager to know. So I hope this helps you all out and gives you just a little bit different look at some baits out there. Instead of just throwing the regular stick bait and fluke all the time, trying to find something just a little bit different because it just might make a difference. Or maybe not. I don't know. Till next time.